Right there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. It's a new show and it's a new topic we're going to discuss all about is the cricket debate episode number 1. And it's something we all want to discuss and know what happens inside and behind the scenes as well. It's how important is workload management, and we are going to discuss only about our team, that is Team India. I have the two experts with me, Gurpalji as well as Rohan. Firstly, Gurpalji, welcome. How is the weather out there in your city?
Thank you for welcoming me. You can see with my attire, with this warm hoodie, and we just celebrated Lodi. So I just wanted to wish everybody who's watching the show happy Lodi, happy Makar Sankranti, happy Bihu, happy Pongal. So it's a kind of a new year for everyone as well. So and Delhi is chilling, 3.5 degrees minimum. Lots of flights getting diverted or getting railed. आपने वो इंसिडेंस भी देख लिया, वो किसी पायलट को
Yeah.
मार दिया वो भी हो गया है। तो ठंड में भी हीट चल रही है।
Absolutely. And Rohan, even yours, couple of days after Virat Kohli is coming to the city, right?
I think he just may have landed. So, no. I mean, he's always been a homeboy, man. I mean, he's from Delhi. As much as Delhi loves him, RCB people also love him more. And he played a fantastic cameo yesterday. I think we're expecting some more bigger show on the day after.
Absolutely. And let's get rolling our things.
क्या
That is
कोई
how important is.
बदला है विराट कोहली के लैंड कैसे वो शाहरुख खान की लाइन में हवाएं बदल गई हैं विराट कोहली पहुंच गया है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल एंड जैसे हम लोग टॉपिक चालू करते हैं अभी हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज वर्कलोड मैनेजमेंट फॉर टीम इंडिया गुरपाल जी आई लेट व्यूअर्स नो दैट दोनों को थ्री थ्री पॉइंटर्स दिया गया था गुरपाल जी एज वेल एज रोहन they had to speak 3 points for the topic and against the topic, and I'm going to start with Gurpalji first. In between you have a couple of rapid fire questions as well for you. So the first topic you said, I want you to explain it as short as possible. That is, I'm going for the statement topics. That is performance of success in Asia Cup and World Cup. So आपके हिसाब से workload management, Team India का जो management देखते हैं for all the players and etc. If it's good, then you deserve or you get success is what you mean, is it?
Yes, exactly. With this workload management, the players were looking very much fresh in Asia Cup and the World Cup during the World Cup as well. The only injury happened with the Hardik Pandya. That was not a game injury. It just he placed his foot on the ball or he got injured. Otherwise, there was no injury. So Team India was completely injury free. It has to do about the this workload management thing which we are looking, which have come in course after Dravid's appointment as a coach. It started from the last year when there were
Yeah.
eyeballs about people missing practice and all, everything and all. So it is a kind of a good thing for the team, as long as anything which gives success to the Indian team and works for the team favor, it is good.
Okay. And then go on to the second topic. You said about players look fresh and well prepared.
Yes,
Explanation on this one?
yeah, this is because having World Cup in India, huge amount of pressure, lots of pressure. So what we were hearing the stories from the players as well, uh, before the match, there was a what you say, there was a the practice session was there, but you can pick and choose. Not all the players were doing the practice session, so that means
Mhm.
they were mentally preparing themselves for the match. They used to practice hard a couple of days before match, but on the final day there was lots of mental preparation, team bonding, and strategies and all. So which really look well, and you have the results to see on the field what the way India performed and did. That was magnificent. I have never seen Indian team played this kind of World Cup in so many years. We have so many teams,
True
Dada's
that.
team, Dhoni's team, but this was exceptional performance. The way we
True that.
dominated.
Absolutely. Yeah. And going on to the third topic that you just spoke a little bit about is that increases the team bonding. In the World Cup, we witnessed the medal ceremony that was going on after the game and everything. Is it also because you're on the winning note or you're in the positive note that everything happens right?
Yeah, exactly. And there was lots of talks from the players like Ashwin and all. We are not friends, and like these kind of statements were coming up. Maybe the coach and the captain and the other senior member decided came up with this idea of the medal ceremony, which unites the team, which encourages the other players to go for the different kind of fielding skills and fielding drills and diving, and took a brilliant catch or something, given a brilliant run out.
Yeah.
Because there were days in our team when we used to have Mohammad Kaif, युवराज सिंह, रैना, दे वर ऑल गन फील्डर्स, सो आपका ऑफ साइड पूरा पैक रहता था, वहां से कोई बॉल निकाल नहीं सकता था. So we were missing
Hmm.
this kind of thing, this kind of fielding efforts and fielding attitude in our team. That was lacking. Bowling and batting skills, we are the best. We know we have the bowlers who can take 10 wickets or 20 wickets. We have the batsmen who can pile up the runs, who are chasers, chase masters, or you can say hitman and all. Fielding was lacking in this unit. We only had a Ravindra Jadeja or Hardik Pa- Pandya before that injury. Hardik Pandya was also gun fielder. So, and recently we saw KL coming back after injury, Shreyas coming back after injury. So people try to take it a little easy, because अगर मैं दोबारा डाइव करूंगा फिर इंजरी ना हो जाए, वर्ल्ड कप चल रहा है, so lots of things are in mind. But these kind of things, the medal ceremony or the activities, really motivates you as a team to die for your country and save a one run or four run. That's what matters in the end.
I'm surprised that you didn't mention the king as a gun fielder, to be honest. But no
King
worries with that. Okay, no worries. I'll come to Rohan. Rohan, the 3 points with Gurpalji mentioned as a whole, do you have any inputs or any agrees to that?
No, I mean, I completely agree with what Paji is there, especially the team bonding and the fielding medal that came in. That kind of gives a good competition among themselves, right? Ki, if I do better, maybe if I win a medal today, tomorrow somebody wants to snatch it from me. So, showing
Hmm.
that I am better than him, I can take a better catch. In turn, it benefits the team only, right? So, if whatever you do, it's benefiting the team, be it your team bonding exercises that you used to do, or the camps they do, I mean, all those. Safari they go within the jungle, and all those boot camps they do. So all those things are basically is what you get into. It's like putting yourself into tougher situations, and then as a team how you can come out of it. So those bondings and those learnings, it helps you show all your performance on field. So these little things does matter. So completely agree with what Paji said here.
Okay, fair enough. Paji, good statements you have given for Team India. Here's a first quick fire question. 30 seconds near about you will be given. The question is, how important is it for the players themselves to, sorry, to look after themselves after the workload management? How important is it?
So who will, Rohan or you? I will take.
No, for you.
Okay, so it's very important. Each player know his or her body, how his body retaliates after the excessive workload or training session or practice session. So it's a very key and important for every player. हर प्लेयर को अपनी बॉडी पता है, किसको क्या एक्सरसाइज करनी है, क्या डाइट खाना है. विराट कोहली का फिटनेस लेवल अलग है, हार्दिक का अलग होगा, स्केल का अलग होगा. For a spinner, for a fast bowler, the fitness regime is different. So a player should know himself about this thing. So it's very important. Players should know about his workload, which series to play, which training to do, which not to do. So this is a very key aspect.
देखिए जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं कि मैनेजमेंट इज ऑलवेज देयर टू लुक आफ्टर द प्लेयर्स, तो आपके हिसाब से ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका है, द प्लेयर्स हिमसेल्फ और इज इट द मैनेजमेंट टू लुक आफ्टर द प्लेयर्स?
The player himself, I guess. एक मैं छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूंगा. इट्स अ एक कड़वी सच्चाई है. ऋषभ पंत को छुट्टी दी गई थी अपनी फैमिली के साथ एंजॉय करने के लिए. ही इज अ प्लेयर, ही अर्न्स वेरी वेल, ही शुड हैव टेकन अ ड्राइवर. आज किसका लॉस है? प्लेयर का लॉस है, टीम का भी लॉस है, प्लेयर का उसका ज्यादा लॉस हो रहा है. So players should be more responsible, I guess. If you were playing for your country, एक और एग्जांपल दूंगा, लता दी का, जो अभी दुनिया में नहीं है. उन्होंने कभी पूरी जिंदगी में खट्टा नहीं खाया, क्योंकि उनकी आवाज ही उनका टैलेंट था. वो युवराज सिंह बोलते जब तक बल्ला चले तब तक ठाट है. अगर आपका बल्ला नहीं चलेगा, आप इंजर्ड हो जाओगे, तो कौन आपको पूछेगा? तो
बिल्कुल.
प्लेयर आर मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, बिकॉज दे हैव टू. तो लाइन में बहुत खड़े हैं यार, आप जाओगे, कोई आपको आपकी जगह ले लेगा. तो प्लेयर आर मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, आई गेस.
Absolutely agreed with that. Rohan, any inputs to this one?
Yeah, just to add on to what Paji said, na, support staff can only guide you or assist you in what you can do. The player knows himself
Exactly.
what he has to do, what not to do, how much of workload is good for his body, how much of practice sessions is required to. In I mean, based on the weather conditions, if it's a hot, humid day, he may just like to just ball 5 or 10 balls and say enough of it. I'll preserve my energy. Or same wise in colder conditions, he may want to have a longer ball to keep himself
Yeah.
warmer. So all those things, the player knows himself better. The management can just give him the facilities, give him a tracking device, something saying what's the number of calories that he is burning and all those things, just to monitor it. But end of the day, it's player's responsibility, because his career span is limited, right? So if he can maintain those workloads, injury prevention, all those things can happen. He's the one who's gonna play longer, and in turn it will benefit the team. So end of the day, as Paji rightly said, it's the player's foremost priority to manage his fitness and workload.
I would somewhat say 80% of the player and
Yeah.
20% maximum to the management. Because at the end of the day, you are looking after yourself day in, day out. Absolutely agreed. And
I
I'll
want
go
to
to
add
the
one
now the
more thing.
negatives.
I
Yeah.
want to add one more thing. The workload management for a youngster and a experienced senior guy is totally different. A youngster should has
Yeah.
to do more, has to try more, has to do more, because a youngster has to groom himself.
So one workload doesn't one example doesn't imply to everyone. Everyone body is different. So they
Different,
have to be
exactly.
tackled accordingly.
Tackle accordingly.
And
Yes.
add on, Pritham, sometimes certain players may have a history of certain injuries, so they may not push a lot more in terms of fitness or something. They may be more skill based, etc. So each one is different, as you said. Let them know their own body better and do whatever is right for them.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of what football players go after, is what you, Rohan, have given. And I'll go to the negatives now. Gurpalji, richest cricket board, I must tell you, and they definitely lack some things. You said the first point, that is, skipping practice is not a workload management. A bold statement. Please explain this one.
Uh, because skipping practice is not a workload management. Because as for a bowler, what I have learned from this beautiful game is, the more you bowl, the more you will be in the rhythm. Today we are saying we are going gung-ho about Shivam Dube. Well, Shivam Dube has played a Ranji match. He has bowled 15 to 20 overs in that match. That's why he is able to bowl against the Afghanistan team. Afghanistan is a very fantastic team. Their players almost
No
play in
doubt.
every league. So they are not mugged with the bat. They are also the cleanest strikers. They have beaten England. They have beaten. We have seen what performance they have given the 50 over World Cup. The only thing they lack is the fielding. दैट्स व्हाई आई मीन, बॉलर जब तक बॉल नहीं डालेगा वो रिदम में कैसे आएगा?
Mhm.
अगर अर्शदीप को अपना नो बॉल ठीक करना है तो बॉल डाल के ही ठीक करेगा ना, घर बैठे तो नहीं। प्रैक्टिस को स्किप करके तो नो बॉल की प्रॉब्लम ठीक नहीं होगी ना। देयर आर सम
Okay.
गाइस, देयर आर
So,
एग्जांपल्स लाइक तेंदुलकर, उसने 2003 वर्ल्ड कप में बैट एक नॉकिंग नहीं किया था बिकॉज़ वो जोन में था। इफ प्लेयर्स इन सम काइंड ऑफ जोन जहाँ उसको नॉकिंग की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको एक दो हिट से पता लग रहा है कि मैं जोन में हूँ, तो दैट इज
uh,
फाइन। वो एक्सपीरियंस भी है, उसको पता भी है वो कौन सी शॉट खेलनी है, कौन सी शॉट नहीं खेलनी, क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना, वो अलग ही लेवल है। बट जहाँ पे आपको प्रैक्टिस करनी है, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू आर गोइंग टू साउथ अफ्रीका और यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर इंग्लैंड, so you have to start playing practicing on the turning pitches. आप पिच अपने अलग पिच बनाओ, उस पर गड्ढे खोदो। लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिन आपकी कमजोर है, लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिन प्रैक्टिस करो। जब तक आप प्रैक्टिस नहीं करोगे तो आपको नहीं पता लगेगा कि आपके वे आर यू गोइंग फाइन एंड ऑल। आपको यू हैव टू एनालाइज योर वीडियो, सी कहाँ मैं इंप्रूव कर सकता हूँ, कौन सी न्यू शॉट्स में ऐड कर सकता हूँ। दैट ऑल विल कम ऑन द इन द प्रैक्टिस। अगर सूर्य कुमार यादव 360 डिग्री प्लेयर है, वो ऐसे नहीं बना, उसने सब प्रैक्टिस करके ही
बिल्कुल.
शॉट्स को किया है। तभी वी सी ना शैडो प्रैक्टिस। राहुल द्रविड़ himself used to do lots of shadow practice. Today every player do the shadow practice. वो shadow practice इसलिए करते हैं कि वो नेचुरल मूवमेंट्स ड्यूरिंग द मैच आए, उनका जो बॉडी एंड उनका जो बॉडी के साथ उनका
Mind.
Subconscious.
कनेक्ट, माइंड के साथ कनेक्ट रहे। और जो उनका शॉट्स खुद से वो शॉट्स साथ साथ आए, जैसे बॉल है वो उनको रिएक्ट उसी टाइम रिएक्ट करे। That's why they use to do shadow practicing and lots of things and like that. Lots of analysis goes on that.
बिल्कुल. एंड लाइक यू गिव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ सचिन द्राविड. पहले जैसे क्रिकेट था, पहले जैसा प्रैक्टिस ट्रेनिंग था, अभी तो उसका इंटेंसिटी बहुत ही बढ़ गया है. एंड these players are proper athletes and they hit the gym often. They hit the gym every single day, I must tell you. I will be very honest, but you said skipping gym would be a better idea to be injury free. What's your point of this one?
See, every again against the same thing. Every player has his own body. For example, Shreyas Iyer का मैं example लो, he has a history of back spasm. तो भाई वेट लिफ्टिंग क्यों करना? अगर करना है तो लाइट वेट करो, हैवी वेट्स ना करो, बिकॉज द इंजरीज विच आर हैपनिंग टू द इंडियन क्रिकेटर्स फ्रॉम लास्ट कपल ऑफ ईयर्स, फील्ड की इंजरी मैंने नहीं देखी। मैं जो इंजरी देखी वो एनसीए में है। वो व्हेन दे आर पार्ट ऑफ इंडियन टीम दे आर सिक्योर्ड, दे प्ले होल टूर्नामेंट। व्हेन दे गो टू एनसीए तो वापस नहीं आते, वो वापस आते हैं वही एनसीए में ट्रेनिंग करते करते
बिल्कुल।
इंजर्ड हो जाते हैं। वी हैव सीन लॉट्स ऑफ वीडियोस कि अ प्लेयर is doing weight lifting without lots of heavy weights and they are doing weight lifting. There's an interview of Sehwag ने कभी weight lifting नहीं की, but how hard he used to hit the ball and how far he used to hit the ball. So हर प्लेयर को पता है। आप विराट कोहली को मत लिखो ना, विराट कोहली कुछ भी कर सकता है, वो तो एलियन है।
अलग है।
सब बॉडी, उसकी डाइट वैसी है ना। he has a diet as well, he has his regime as well, he runs, he walks, he does everything. So that's what वर्कलोड मैनेजमेंट से ज्यादा ना जिम मैनेजमेंट ज्यादा होना चाहिए कि किस प्लेयर को कौन से जिम एक्सरसाइज करनी चाहिए टू वर्क ऑन देयर मसल्स एंड ऑल।
Yeah, and I really want to ask Rohan a little bit about this one as well. Rohan, he's mentioned about Virat Kohli being an alien or something you don't want to compare about, but he also mentioned that Shreyas Iyer has a back injury, but still zyada weight uthata hai. Is it also because you look after yourself, you look into yourself and see your surroundings are maintaining a lot of high power or high intensity? You want to be in that level?
Sometimes it comes of bit of physical appearance also, Pritham. You want to look a lean, mean machine kind of stuff. That sometimes may not necessarily make you match fit. So तुम्हारा बॉडी कितना अच्छा होना चाहिए, इस मैच फिट रहना चाहिए, नॉट लुक ऑल
Yeah.
दिस हल्क टाइप का नहीं चाहिए हमको. आई विल टेल यू क्लासिक एग्जांपल. इफ यू फॉलो डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट, तमिलनाडु इज अ पावर हाउस टीम यार. फैंटास्टिक स्पिनर्स, क्लासिकल मोल्ड सब है, मिस्ट्री स्पिन एक्सेट्रा. उनका ड्रॉबैक होता था पेस बॉलर्स. No pace bowlers, when they go up north, they used to get exposed, and because of that they could not move further in the league stage. तो उनका एक टैलेंट हुआ, they wanted fast bowlers. एक 4 बंदे आए, सब हल्क टाइप के जिम बॉडी बना के आए. You know what, they used to ball at 110 Ks. होपलेस था. जो कैप्टन था at that time, बद्रीनाथ, he was shocking and he was laughing. He said Lakshmipati Balaji was almost 35 36 then, he was bowling faster than these guys. So physical appearance एक है, match fitness एक है, and knowing what muscles you need to develop to strengthen them so that you don't get injuries again and again. That's what I said. History पता होना चाहिए, क्या history में उसको क्या injury हुआ था, how you manage that is what is actually your scientific methods come into. तो वहां पे अपना ट्रेनर्स का भी, एनसीए का जो भी वो फिजियोस रहते हैं, उनका सबका रोल आता है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट प्लेयर अलोन देयर, इट्स अ कंप्लीट सिस्टम. इफ वो प्लेयर का पूरा हिस्ट्री पकड़ के, what is the best diet that need to do, what the exercise, everything, the doctor comes into place there, all those things, if it's in proper place, then only the player can be at his peak. अगर नहीं है शॉर्ट कमिंग से, तो ये सब क्या बोलते हैं, इट्स आफ्टर इफेक्ट, डोमिनो इफेक्ट होता है. एक से बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद बुरा चलता जाएगा फिर.
Absolutely agreed with that, Rohan, what you said. And going to the final one, Paji, players are getting injured, but not in the match, just like we discussed. Gym boliye, training boliye, whatever it is. Explain this one. Is it also because of the high intensity?
Yes, it could be because of higher intensity. We stopped having yo-yo tests. It's just again started. We have started this back. The fitness tests were not going, or lack. It could be lack of match fitness as well. Maybe match fitness, and players. The reoccurrence of injury is just because of the lack of match fitness. Because once the player gets fit in NCA, he was drafted into an Indian team without any first class cricket or any side game or a tour game or anything. He's just playing. Like, for famous example, Deepak Chahar, Washington Sundar, Ruturaj Gaikwad. How he's getting injured? So casually they're getting injured. There was a time when we have to. Kapil Dev never got injured in his life. He never missed a game because of injury. And lots of other things. Tendulkar got the injury because of that tennis elbow and back spasm.
That's what I said. Are the players pushing themselves more?
So I don't think so, because I don't think so. Because see, there is example of Virat Kohli as well. He never gets injured. Touch wood. He remains his fitness is like awesome. वो अभी आराम से 5-6 साल आराम से खेल सकता है. वो ऐसा फिट रहेगा, जिस तरह से फिटनेस है, वो 5-6 साल के, वो 40 years तक खेल सकता है आराम से क्रिकेट. And he could prolong his career as a test batsman or an ODI, whatever he wants to he wants to do, he can do. Players, again, I'm again same thing, players are responsible, they don't know their body well, or there's too much कि यार मुझे मैच खेलना, मुझे मैच मिस नहीं करना, या वो
बिल्कुल.
आधी इंजरी में खेल रहे हैं, they hiding, या we are fit or not, we are 50% fit or 80% or 70% fit. Like Shami, the example of Shami was not fully fit in the World Cup. He took injections and played, but he knows how, where and where to put an effort, where to not to put an effort. He knows his body. तो वो उसने अपना वर्ल्ड कप निकाल लिया. There was a case of युवराज सिंह, most of the players, जहीर खान, but the current players I don't think so कि उनको इतना अभी वो एक्सपीरियंस है, या वो उनको पता है कि कैसे उनकी बॉडी को मैनेज करना है. बस so they don't know themselves and they don't know about their body कि मैं कितना कर लूंगा, कितना मैं आगे उसको अपने आप से निकाल सकता हूँ. वो कैप्टन और कोच से बाद में सोचेगा, पहले तो हमें अपनी बॉडी से जस्टिफाई करना है अपनी टीम के लिए. अगेन द एग्जांपल ऑफ श्रेयस अय्यर, दिल्ली टेस्ट एक मैच खेला, बैक स्पैज्म हो गए, फिर पूरी सीरीज मिस हो गई. साउथ अफ्रीका लास्ट ईयर 2 years बैक गया था, he was unfit, he missed the test match. So they are youngsters, they are young players, they are not 30, 31, 32. We are talking about the players of age of 25, 26, 24. Ishan Kishan, the case, there's a mental fatigue going on with him. So these types of things are coming up. Again, I'm saying players are not getting injured in the match, they are getting injured somewhere else, doing other things, dancing or
Okay.
fitness or gym, like that. These kind of things are.
Dancing.
But yeah, if you are not fit, how can you make reels on dancing?
Okay, I'll hand the responsibility now to Rohan. Rohan, are the players not knowing
I am
how
not
to
sure
keep
anybody's
themselves
going
fit?
to dance and get injured, party. Luckily. Okay.
Why you can, if you copy Dhanashri, then you will definitely get
I
injured.
was coming there, but luckily it's all easy moves. I think. Luckily, Charles doesn't try and copy her. वो इतना सा है, वो अगर इंजर्ड हो जाए तो सोच.
चहल डांस नहीं करता ना, वो अकेली गई डांस शो में, चहल नहीं गया
Yeah.
साथ में.
Okay,
There was an
I'll.
example of Cup last year when they got for skiing, boat skiing, when Ravinder Jadeja got injured doing the boat skiing,
Dubai.
Haha,
Dubai.
yes.
So, and we are seeing lots. These things are happening in other parts of the world. Like कोई golf खेलते इंजर्ड हो जाता है, किसी का पैर
I,
फिसल जाता
I,
है
I
golf.
was about to come to that of
There's
Glenn
Toby.
Maxwell.
There's Toby.
Yeah, best
And
of.
see the recent example of Pakistan New Zealand series. Kane Williamson was to play only two T20, first and second. And second T20 he got injured. Due to match
Yeah.
fitness, lack of match practice, lack of match fitness. So strange injuries are coming. So I don't know what players are doing, what sort of regime is there. And Rohan,
Okay.
please add something
Fair
more.
enough. Yeah, and we go on to the second rapid fire question for you, Gurpalji, before we move on to Rohan. That is, are we witnessing more injuries just because players are pushing themselves more? As we discuss, anything add on to you?
Yeah, players are pushing themselves most because they kind of insecure about their places and all, so they are getting into team and trying to play and push themselves for playing spot with a 70 or 80% injuries. And more has to do with the NCA, how NCA is clearing them, and they are getting reoccurrence of the injuries. So
Yeah.
nobody's taking NCA accountable. Who is there to answer? I've never seen a VVS Lakshman press conference come after this. Nobody asking VVS Lakshman as an NCA head why this is happening, or NCA doctors. The doctor was also earlier used to be a doctor for the Indian team as a Nitin Patel. So I
Yeah.
guess unless or until they don't come forward and give the explanation, we don't know what is happening in the backstage. We can only
Okay.
just we
Wait.
can only just assume, like what I am assuming as a fan, as a cricket supporter.
And not just us, even the media
And media,
assumes
yeah,
and
yeah.
gives their reports. Yeah, very
And
much so.
sometimes like the player is dropped without any reason, without any clarification.
True
World
that.
Cup में press
Uh,
conference
I,
शुरू हुई थी
I I
after
wouldn't I wouldn't somewhat say Yashasvi Jaiswal's injury was
groin injury.
fake, because if it was fake, he wouldn't have made to the playing 11 the second T20.
Because
So I think
as per one of the doctor, he said कि it will take 2 weeks, a groin injury. And if it is a halki fulki bhi injury, why will you risk Yashasvi Jaiswal with the test match coming after 10 days?
Paji,
okay.
that's not an injury. It is called niggle. वो आता है जाता रहता है. Indian cricket
वो
में players.
वो
like they
ठीक है,
mentioned, it was
वो
during the
genuine
warm
भी
up.
है, genuine भी है, because T20 is a intense game. इट्स मोर इंटेंस देन ओडीआई. आपको भागना पड़ता है, डाइव लगानी पड़ती है, एंड विद दिस टाइप ऑफ वेदर, वेदर स्लाइडिंग विल बी देयर, ड्यू
Yeah.
इज देयर. अगर ज्यादा एग्रीवेट हो जाए इंजरी, तो फिर आपका टेस्ट में 10 दिन बाद है. यू आर मिसिंग ऑन योर लेफ्ट हैंडेड ओपनर अगेंस्ट द इंग्लैंड टीम.
Could be,
I
but
think
I am very
Vikram said it
much,
perfectly. What injury is real or fake. Sometimes you can deliberate pretty easily. Also, not all.
very much so. Yeah, agreed with that. Thank you, Gurpalji. Your for as well as against comes to an end. We'll go on to the Rohan. Rohan, your first for statement is backups for main players and prevention from injury. Your point on this one, and give us a few examples as well.
बैकअप्स इन जनरल वर्कलोड मैनेजमेंट अगर आपको पता है कि यू आर पुशिंग योर बॉडी थोड़ा लिमिट रीच हो रहे हो somebody else can come in and do the similar job जैसे हार्दिक का हुआ we had someone like Shivam Dubey come in now or we had tried that Vijay Shankar and all those kind of guys there so you should also be ready with a contingency plan is what I feel कि in case your main starting 11 में कोई player है if he's reaching kind of a threshold limit there you need to have someone backup so that in your immediate series after that until your main goal अगर वर्ल्ड कप है उसके बीच में जो भी सीरीज है बायलैटरल्स एक्सेट्रा उसमें से इस बैकअप प्लेयर को खिला दो सो दैट इवन ही इज रेडी विद द प्रेशर सिचुएशंस कैसे हैंडल कर सके ऑल दोस स्पेशली फास्ट बॉलर्स को मैं बोलता हूँ अगर तुम प्रायोरिटाइज कर रहे हो कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट टेस्ट सीरीज हो अब्रॉड में जाना है जो ओवरसीज टेस्ट मैचेस है वहां पे फास्ट बॉलर्स की जरूरत ज्यादा होता है तो होम कंडीशंस में आपको उनका वर्कलोड मैनेजमेंट कर सकते हैं जैसे फॉर अबर इंग्लैंड सीरीज आएगा you may see rotation among the pacers in Bumrah, Siraj.
Basis, yeah.
Shami may come in later on. Give Avesh a chance maybe. So थोड़ा rotate करते रहो so that everyone is fit, match fit, workload भी है and fitness का भी वो लोग अपना ध्यान रख सकते हैं because in India they may not bowl as many overs but when they bowl maybe with an older ball reverse swing आना चाहिए intensity high रहना है so to be effective
Bilkul.
that kind of management is very required for in terms of prevention of injury and backup players.
Fair enough. And we move on to the point number two, key players being kept fresh and for big games and no burnout. So we spoke in the Gurpalji slides about gym, about training as well. So what's your take on this one? Should the key player, I don't think so Virat will skip any of them, but what about the seniors?
I was actually looking at that point only. Someone like a Rohit Sharma, all those guys who are in that senior kind of bracket. This is Jassi Ho. You don't want them to play excessive amount of cricket, so that leading up to a main series, yeah, World ICC events, you don't want them to be burned out too much. I'm not just talking physically, mentally. Be if they're fresh, keeping in mind what's the condition they may encounter there, because there lot of mental effort goes into those events here. They say we saw in the 50 over World Cup how much of planning was there, how much of energy everyone put into it. After that, immediately, if there was a series, as you saw, Rohit wanted a break, Virat similarly wanted a
Yeah,
break. So, in terms of those things, you don't want a player to be burnt out physically as well as mentally, so that the next coming up important series they're ready and on the go. Jaise bolte hain na, yes, he may not he scored two zeros maybe Rohit, but he's looking good, chill kind of lag raha hai. He's just one innings away. I'm pretty sure in the England Test series he'll come good. So hopefully in Bangalore also he comes good. But
I was about to say.
but I'm saying that's just kind of examples I'm giving you where a player needs to be ready mentally also, which is equally important.
Absolutely agreed with that. Going on to the final one, that is helps in recovery of players and rehab. You said about this one. Is it that we get to see that the players are positive, the quick recovery, or is it safe and sound, take your own time, but be 100% fit?
I'm looking more the safe and sound. Classic example I wanted was Bumrah. I'm pretty sure last year around this time when Sri Lanka was here, Jesse was in the squad and everyone was
Yeah,
excited कि Jesse आ गया वापस and all those. I think just in the warm up या कुछ T20 या था Guwahati में था that match. Immediately everyone saw him pull out. He was not in the squad. Whatever happened, suddenly he was not there till the lead up of the World Cup. 6 months गया वो. Right. So
yeah,
that's the reason I want players to be completely fresh, be 100% ready before you come back. जैसे पाजी had told last time also एक आधा domestic खेल लेते हैं something like that so that you are 100% ready, you are completely recovered from your old injuries. जो भी हो शायद नया हो जाए भाई. I don't want a recurrence of the previous thing, so that you're physically strong enough with your जो weaker regions होता है body का जैसे पेस बॉलर का बैक होता है, shoulders होता है. So if you are strengthening those things and coming back, फिर आके hamstring हो जाए तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, right? So that's the reason I'm looking at players where if they have some history of an injury, they can completely be recovered. For example, as Paji said, someone like a Deepak Chahar, he is known to get freaky injuries. Gaikwad is another guy. If you are 100% fit and ready, only then please come back, or else don't waste people's time thinking, oh ये आ गया वो, hopes बढ़ जाता है बस. You don't want that
Even a
conditions to
little bit
again.
about like Gopalji mentioned about Shreyas Iyer. I think he
Shares, yeah.
was hurried back into the squad just because we did not have a number four in for the World Cup, and he
Yeah.
even knew if he misses the World Cup, his spot in the long term is also under threat. So he still has that back injury into the contention. KL Rahul अभी तक injured नहीं हुआ तो touchwood I can leave that up to him. But share a little bit, Rohan. You think that he was hurried back and another player who could be injury prone in the long term?
Definitely, I agree. I mean, another thing, what happens in Pritham, these players are pretty young. They are also a bit afraid कि इनका players अगर चला जाए तो वापस आ सकता है कि नहीं.
That
They may again
exactly.
have to start from scratch. IPL में अच्छा करो, domestic में एक बड़ा hundreds बनाओ. All those things they have to उनका pecking order में नीचे चला जाता है. So they have to work their way up again. So I'm not sure if they are confident enough in their own ability. Team management में उनको क्या communication हुआ है. All those things matter, right? श्रेयस हो या कोई भी यंगस्टर्स आ सकता है, हाउ काइंड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन जाता है उनको कि क्या उनका एक प्रोसेस होना चाहिए टू कम बैक. इफ एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर फॉर देम, आई थिंक इट बी इजियर फॉर देम. और एल्स ये आधा इंजर्ड होके कि छिपा के किसी को ना बोल के ओवर डूइंग योर workload can also damage them. So if certain things are properly structured na, then all those things can be avoided.
Exactly. 100% agreed with that. And come to Gurpal ji. Yes,
Yes.
I know you have just raised your hand as well. As a whole, you want to say anything? Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add a couple of things. The last point of Rohan about the communication to the players. I guess that communication has been started by Rahul Dravid itself. That is why the things of which are happening. That Shreyas Iyer was advised to play the Ranji match. He has gone to play the Ranji match. Even KL Rahul has been assured that you come as you think of doing wicket keeping in the IPL as well as a number five player. So the communication has been started because Rahul Dravid is a that sort of player who believes in doing the communication. The communication was done to Ishan Sharma. The communication was done to Ridhiman Saha that we will
Yep.
not be seeing you. So that has been started. The and sometimes with this assurance, if a player goes back to Ranchi, so what happens? He can have always have a time to work on his game better. So for a prime example, like for a prime example of Bumrah, the injury layoff that Bumrah has earlier, we used to see Bumrah used to only have a incoming delivery, but he
Yeah.
developed a outswinging delivery in
Yep.
this World Cup as well. And the amount of practice he has done over his body and everything, the pace he was clocking, he played in Sri Lankan condition. He played in India as well. The three matches against Australia. Then it was a glad and blessing in disguise. We did our practice match, our warm-up matches got washed out, so our players were totally fresh. But these things happen when you have a bit of time off from the cricket. You can analyze your game better. You can come as a better player. And lots of players has done these things to evolve their game. If you will not evolve as a player, then you will be stagnant and और इतना कंप्यूटर एनालिटिक्स है, आपकी कोई ना कोई कमजोरी वीकनेस पकड़ लेगा और आपको फिर
बिल्कुल.
बाहर बाहर जाना पड़ेगा. And I hope when Rishabh Pant comes back, he improves his offside game. We want to see the booming off drives, cover drives. That he will be a different player altogether. We know what he can do in the on the leg side. He can murder the ball, but we
But
need
he,
to
he
we
has
need
he has a very good offside as well. We have seen in the England series as well.
कंडीशंस आर डिफरेंट. इंग्लैंड में आपका डिफरेंट है क्योंकि इंग्लैंड में आपको बॉल आगे डालना पड़ेगा उसको आउट करने के लिए. वहाँ स्विंग होता है. हर कंडीशंस डिफरेंट है, बट स्टिल the way he gets out in T20s and ODI, if you have noticed, especially in T20s, he goes for a slog. He gets hold down. I've never seen him getting out in the offside. He always go hold out in the mid on or mid off or long on area. Just my viewing of Rishabh Pant. And
Even I said as before as well, these players have the capabilities. It's the match reading sense you want to speak about. A lot of things comes to the equation. Rohan, you're about to say something. You can go ahead for this time.
नो एज यू सेड ना, वो लोग गलती करके ही सीखते हैं. अगर हम चाहते
Yeah,
हैं कि वो लोग पक्के हुए प्लेयर्स आ जाए, इट्स ये डे एंड एज में नहीं हो रहा है. प्रीवियसली यूज्ड टू सी प्लेयर्स यूज्ड टू बी रियली hardened from domestic cricket and then come in, but because of IPL
exactly.
sometimes people get fast tracked. So when they are on a higher on the rise ना तब उनको खेल रहे. They won't have seen the downside of the game और उनका बैटिंग में हो बॉलिंग में. They don't know how to recover once they are in a downslide. I feel so. ऋषभ का भी वही था. If he he needs some proper mentoring, I feel someone like MS, maybe some senior player, just get him under the wing, saying, you know what, read the match situation properly, because he's a match winner on his own. पाजी बोल रहे थे ऑफसाइड का. Nobody has ever hit a reverse scoop offside over the third man of a new ball of Jimmy Anderson. पाजी वो बंदा
तो
अलग
रिवर्स
सोच
ठीक
का
है,
है उसका. Because
रिवर्स का
you
मैंने
need
बात भी नहीं
someone
किया.
to guy like that.
तो रिवर्स उसका सक्सेस रेट है तो उसके लिए मैंने बात भी नहीं किया. आई डेंट टॉक अबाउट दैट शॉट. और वो टेस्ट मैच, अब मैं वही बता रहा हूँ, टेस्ट में जो फील्ड आपकी आगे होती है सारी,
Yeah.
तो ही कैन इजीली क्लियर द बॉल. ओडीआई T20 में आपके 5 फील्डर पीछे होते हैं. तो दैट इज वेयर द थिंग्स चेंजेस.
Paji, he's a bit similar to what Viru used to do. He was a very good, excellent red ball player. White ball में उसका यही problem था, because everybody was defensive lines में डालते थे. If someone like Rishabh can
Temperament.
be a very good opening batsman ना, then it will be a good blessing in disguise for him.
But Viru's
He was
offside game,
tried a couple of times in the opening as well,
Viru's
but
There
offside
is
game was
no
also
issues.
very
वो
well.
खेल
He
लेगा
used
वो
to cut,
कहीं
he
पे
used
भी.
to cut, he used to play over the cover for 6. उसका ऑफसाइड भी उतना ही मजबूत था, अदरवाइज वो 300 रन नहीं बना सकता, इसका ऑफसाइड गेम मजबूत नहीं होगा.
Agree.
एकदम
सकलेन
बिल्कुल agreed with that.
को नहीं खेल सकता वो सकलेन को नहीं खेल पाएगा, उसका ऑफसाइड कंप्लीट अब नहीं होगा. अजिंता मेंडिस को नहीं खेल पाएगा. तो दे वर मेंटली
बिल्कुल.
वेरी टफ. कौन सा बंदा यार 294 पे छक्का मारता है? He was actually the most fearless cricketer
वो
in
तो
the world.
अलग है. जैसे we have witnessed Rishabh Pant, and we will again once again witness him. He is another Viru, just like
Yeah.
Rohan said. We had a little bit of glimpse of probably Prithvi Shaw could become, but अब रहने देते हैं.
पृथ्वी शॉ अभी छोड़ दो. कल उसका फोटो आया है, कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट या उसके शोल्डर ही ड्रॉप्ड है. पृथ्वी शॉ भी अपना करियर खराब कर रहा है. आई डोंट नो what is going with him
बिल्कुल.
and what is happening. Acha, I
Exactly.
learned this
And
point from Rohan about the backup players. So thank God finally we have started to look out for a replacement or as a backup for Hardik Pandya. We always had a backup for Ashwin, like Washington Sundar, Aksar for Jaddu, but we
Appaji,
never.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll just hold that 30 more seconds because that's the first question for Rohan itself. That
Okay,
is, how
sure.
important is it to have at least one backup of every player for situations like this of injuries?
Highly important, Pritam. We just saw, what happens once you saw Hardik lose out on his spot in the WC. हमारा पूरा balance of the team and combination से बिगड़ गया. I mean, ideally, if in the World Cup final, I would have loved to have someone like Ravichandran Ashwin against the Aussie left-handers. But क्योंकि वो Hardik नहीं था, we had to push in our another seamer and सब combination बिगड़ गया. Because we would have planned starting में से कि हार्दिक होगा. हमारा एक fixed 11 होता है ना, वो बैलेंस बिगड़ गया तो एवरीथिंग इज अ जिक्सॉ पजल. देन एक पजल यहाँ वहां गया तो यू हैव टू मेक डू एवरीथिंग. So having backups is what gives the team a luxury to keep the template same. Just personal changes होता है बस.
Agreed with that. And Gurpalji, he said a lot about players. If they miss out, they will think that, okay, this person has taken my spot. So that also comes into consideration. Your point on this one?
So yes, there is insecurity among the players for sure. There's insecurity among the players. बहुत insecurity होती है, but that's where the coach and the captain and the selector has to be very much communicative to a particular player. भी अगर आपको अभी हम ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं तो this is for this reason, so you have to work on this thing. Then आप जाओ परफॉर्म करो, अपनी चीज को इम्प्रूव करो. Then we'll get you
We'll look
back
into
in
that.
we'll look into that. So ये obviously if you like जब धोनी फॉर एग्जांपल 2011 वर्ल्ड कप की मैं बात करूं, व्हाट आई हर्ड, धोनी हैड अ कोर ऑफ 25 प्लेयर्स कि मेरे को 25 प्लेयर दो, मैं इसी में सिलेक्ट करूंगा. तो दिस टाइम वी आल्सो स्टार्टेड टू गेटिंग बैक टू दोस थिंग्स कि हमें अब इस वर्ल्ड कप के में 30 प्लेयर्स का कोर बनाना चाहिए. उसमें से हम बेस्ट 18 उठाएं, 15 आपके जो वर्ल्ड कप खेलेंगे और 3 आपके जो बैकअप्स होंगे, बिकॉज द वर्ल्ड कप इज इन वेस्ट इंडीज, नॉट इन इंडिया, कि जहां पे आप किसी को भी इमीडिएटली आप रिप्लेस कर सकते हो. It's always good to have 30 players a group, और स्पेशली फास्ट बॉलिंग का ग्रुप ज्यादा, बिकॉज दे आर मोर इंजरी प्रोन्स. आपका बैट्समैन स्पिनर फिर भी काम कर जाता है, बट फास्ट बॉलर्स का आपका 7-8 प्लेयर्स का होना चाहिए, एक कोर होना चाहिए आपके, जिसको आप पूरे
Minimum.
ऑल ओवर द ईयर हम उनको रोटेट कर सको इन बिटवीन T20s, वन टेस्ट मैच एंड ODIs.
Bilkul, agreed with that. And Rohan, we go on to the negatives against that topic as well. And your first point is that Oh my God, he's reading what Paji is about to say that. Confusion to pick the best 15 squad players. For the Asia Cup, we had 18, out of which we could pick 15, and we almost predicted who were the three players going to be left out. Going in the long run, World Cup as well. How do you look into that? No more T20 games we have after the T20 against Afghanistan at Bangalore. After that, depending on IPL.
वही एक प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है प्रीतम, यू नो, अगर चार पांच बंदे अच्छे खेल ले आईपीएल में, ऑल विल बी लाइक उसके जगह इसको लो, इसके जगह उसको लो.
Exactly.
That's what confusion happens. Then the player who is already in the main squad, he'll be doubting himself. By chance, XYZ player has a bad IPL. People will start forgetting this Afghanistan series. Example, Dubey. Dubey अगर
I
अच्छा
was
नहीं
about to
खेला,
mention him.
what will you do? You will say, अरे यार XYZ is a better than Dubey in
Even
West
a
Indies.
little bit of Jitesh Sharma.
Anyone, Jitesh या Sanju, maybe his fan army will come. You never know. Okay, because we are not about any player centric or anyone. We want the team to do well, right? So if you create too many players also, as Paji said, अगर 30 का player pool बन गया, then we'll be like, can create two teams, यार. Don't you think
Exactly.
that's too many options? So at times we need to have 18 or 20 maximum. उनमें से
18 to maximum 20.
yeah,
Yeah.
18 to 20, have a few backups here and there, maybe couple of them to groom them on the longer run. You can have that kind of a guy. But if you have too many players, people will be having so many confusions. Even the player himself will be doubting himself. The selectors will be confused. As fans and XYZ IPL team franchise fans will be wanting our players to come in. You don't want that kind of situations to happen, right? You want the best possible 15 out there, which is known in the public domain. Out of them, in case of injury, a form, whatever, etc., factors come in, then XYZ can come in as a replacement for those guys. It should be straightforward and simple. As simple it is, it's a good classic example. CSK, they don't meddle around too many things, right? That's why they're a
Correct.
champion team. So if you keep things simple as MS keeps it, you will the chance of success rate is higher.
Absolutely. He always is a genius of keeping things simple. And going to the second one, game time on the field is the best practice. What's your take on this one?
Example, as I was coming earlier, for fast bowlers you need to have game time on field. जितना overs कर सकते हो मैच सिचुएशंस में, नॉट इन योर सिमुलेटेड प्रैक्टिस एंड ऑल दोस. हीट में पहला स्पेल अगर 5-6 ओवर का डालो, आफ्टरनून सेशन में आओ, फिर लेट इन द डे व्हेन यू आर बॉलिंग विद अ सेमी न्यू बॉल और ओल्डर बॉल, देन विद अ सेकंड न्यू बॉल. सो 4-5 स्पेल अगर आप 20 ओवर 22 ओवर कर सकते हो इन अ डे, दैट इज योर फिटनेस. नॉट बॉलिंग फॉर हाफ एन आवर एंड सेइंग आई एम फिट बॉस. नो, हाउ मच योर बॉडी कैन लाइक स्विच ऑन स्विच ऑफ, स्विच ऑन स्विच ऑफ जो होता है बॉडी का जब आप वार्म कंडीशन में खेलते हो. इफ यू आर फिट एनफ टू डू दैट, that is match fitness for a fast bowler. Same for a batsman also. If he can go in there at a, if he's a middle order bat, if he knows he can bat at 300 for 3 out of when sitting for one day with his pads on, or
Yeah.
in the first half an hour itself he needs to come in and bat. All those situations, if he's ready on game time, playing a couple of domestic matches in similar conditions, hopefully to what the test wicket will be played on, then he is ready straight away without domestic cricket practice. If you come in and play against England, who will be out their baseball approach, etc., the chances of failure will be higher.
Even a little bit of that one, because nowadays the cricket, the intensity, the challenges have increased. Talking about fast bowlers coming after a long time, coming into the spell, and the first couple of balls we always notice are loose deliveries.
Yeah.
How much is it important for them to be on the money from ball one?
The best example was someone like a Wasim Akram used to always keep saying that when you're coming into ball with your new spell, you know your body is still stiff. I know, just
Yeah,
ball a couple of bouncers, get your action through, थोड़ा body loose हो जाए, then you can get into your rhythm, ball your channels, etc. Outswing and swing जो भी. पहला तो ball होता है, your chances of injury is higher that time because you're still cold. तो always be making sure what's the best for your body, जहाँ पे body थोड़ा खुल सके बोलते हैं हम लोग. So for a fast bowler, it's highly important. India में तो it's okay, manageable, but when you go to overseas conditions, colder climates, you need to be completely switched on, or else we
yeah,
have seen time and again lot of injuries happen because of this kind of issues, because our players are not used to those temperatures. So it's important कि game time आप field में जितना हो सके practice करो, then come back with your injuries या whatever
yeah.
stuff you're coming back from.
Agreed with that once again as well for you. And moving to the third point, consistency in rhythm and take longer to get into the groove.
Consistency is like, see, before you may have if there's a longer break between series, and you would have had a very good form completing that tour or something. Again, when the conditions change, new opponents, newer conditions, how well you can adapt. Oh, consistency shayad na rahe. For example, Arshdeep, we saw he was bowling beautifully in South Africa, but suddenly in Mohali, very cold climate, एक दो ball सही से length में ना गया. So those things ना, if any player can adjust to the conditions better, uska consistency in delivering his top class performance will be higher. So वो जैसे you said, it may take two balls to get into your radar, but वो दो ball छक्के हो सकते हैं, right? So you lost that momentum there itself. That is what you don't want, that longer time to get into your groove, is what I wanted to say it here.
Gurpalji, he said about consistency is the best example, the man Virat Kohli.
Yeah, surely, because again, Virat Kohli is the best example because the innings he played yesterday, he was also coming from from a long break. He played in South Africa as a test match. That was good. That means he was in
But
the
if you
groove.
go before the South Africa Test series, he did
He was
not
a
play the
long,
white balls,
he
yet he
played the
scored
white
a
ball.
65 out 70 runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was in a groove in South Africa, and sometimes the players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Tendulkar, and all the big players, they start mentally preparing themselves. They start to analyze in the mind, visualize in the mind. I will be playing this game against this opposition. I will be playing these type of shots and all. But tomorrow, yesterday, what we have seen. We have seen these shots in the practice session, which Virat was
Yep,
doing during the World Cup. He
he's
got his
always aggressive in the nets.
he was using these shots in the as a practice for the World Cup, which he didn't use it in there because there was a role was given to Virat Kohli during the World Cup. Yeah, you have to bat at least 40 to 50 overs whenever your turns come. But in here, the team has given him license to just enjoy and display your prowess of going aerial route and all. And best
Yeah,
position for Virat in T20 is obviously opening as an opener. I will say. And
yeah.
other point of Rohan is like confusion of picking the best squad 15 players. Is a confusion is created by us only, by our selectors only. What we are doing.
Is
For
it just the selectors, not the
yes,
social media?
I don't believe in social media. I frankly speaking, I will tell you the reason, the valid point. आप विराट कोहली को वर्ल्ड कप में लेके जाना चाहते हो, आप खिलाना चाहते हो नंबर 3 पे, वो आईपीएल के लिए आईपीएल में ओपन करता है. अब फॉर एग्जांपल, अब मेरे को पता है मेरे 15 प्लेयर कौन से हैं जो वर्ल्ड कप जाएंगे, तो मैं आइडली चाहूंगा कि मैं उनको जो वर्ल्ड कप में मेरी पोजीशन में खेले वो डोमेस्टिक आईपीएल, आईपीएल इज द ओनली टूर्नामेंट. यू गाइस एग्री? there is no T20 tournament where India will play, the players will play together. So IPL is the only tournament. Ask them to play on those positions, na, where they have to
But
bat.
that's what Rohan mentioned as well. Are you picking players based on the IPL performances or what they did in the for Team India? If it's for IPL performances, then apart from the big names, nobody's spot is secured in the squad.
I'm not prepared. I'm not picking the team on the basis of IPL performances. I what I if I am a selector, I will convey these are my 15 players. If anybody gets injured, then these are my backups. You just go and play on these positions as we are looking forward you to play in the World Cup. That's it.
Okay.
आपको आपकी टीम पहले
Fantastic.
पता होनी चाहिए. आप आईपीएल के बाद ही टीम बनाओगे. टीम आपको आज ही बना के उनको पता
But
होना
Paji,
चाहिए.
I'll give you a catch there. तो क्या मोटिवेशन रहेगा किसी यंगस्टर को जो आईपीएल खेल रहा है? ही विल बी
बिल्कुल.
आल्सो ड्रीमिंग कि इन केस आई हैव अ स्टैंड आउट सीजन, आई कैन गेट मे बी दैट 15th spot in that squad, maybe. Those things can happen.
तो उसके लिए अभी 2 साल है ना. 2 साल बाद इंडिया में है, वर्ल्ड कप है ना. आप एकदम
तो
से आप
तो
किसी को
क्यों
लेके जाओ
तो क्यों T20 वर्ल्ड कप 2024 नहीं है?
ना. 2024 में क्यों? 2024 में आप वो प्लेयर्स लेके जाओगे जो ऑलरेडी वेस्ट इंडीज में एक बार खेल चुके हैं. इंडियन क्रिकेट में इतना गट्स नहीं है कि वो एक डेब्यू करवा देंगे किसी को वर्ल्ड कप में, कहीं से भी उठा के ले आएंगे. हमारी टीम में इतना गट्स नहीं है. वो अभी
तो
तेंदुलकर
आपके
वाला
हिसाब
जमाना
से
नहीं है.
रिंकू सिंह का जगह नहीं है?
वैसे हाँ जी, क्या कह रहे हो?
आपके हिसाब से रिंकू सिंह का जगह नहीं है?
रिंकू सिंह का है जगह. रिंकू सिंह लास्ट ईयर गया था वेस्ट इंडीज.
लेकिन वेस्ट इंडीज कभी नहीं गया है.
मैं डेब्यू की बात कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा.
आप यू आर सेइंग दैट यंगस्टर हैविंग अ ब्रेक थ्रू आईपीएल सीजन, क्या वो डेब्यू करा देंगे? नहीं कराएंगे.
I'll give you an example, Paji. हमारा सबसे फेवरेट सोशल मीडिया किंग जो है वो है रियान पराग. He's having an outstanding season in Ranji Trophy now.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he's playing exceptionally well against some quality
Really?
attacks. He's done it. अगर by chance राजस्थान रॉयल्स में इस बार अच्छा सीजन गया उसका, he's a very good all-rounder because not just a lower order batsman, he bowls a bit of spin also, which can be
He's a
angling.
right-hander of Suresh Raina.
Yeah, he bowls both ways. I mean, spins both ways. He has
I
a
know, I
leggy
know,
as well as
I
an
know.
off spinner, and that Kedar Jadhav one also he can bowl.
Yeah,
So in a place like West Indies, someone like him is a very utility player that we can use. It's a different thing whether he'll be picked or not, but a kind of player that can be suited there.
very much. And I am very much looking forward to him because
I have
he
the,
has
I
the
have the,
talent.
I have the reason to drop him. He was with the emerging squad, Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
right? India. He represented India. He was a senior player. He should have won you that tournament. What he did in that tournament. That that was a platform where we judge his mentality, what his mental ability is. Playing
Yes, Paji. One thing
domestic
again, I'll tell
tournament
you.
and that tournament is totally different.
See,
So
you
that
play the
that
first
is
time
where the
for
players
India
become.
in a emerging trophy, right? So uska pressure ही अलग होगा. Yes, he failed maybe there, but don't you think he would have learnt better to second time if he gets a chance to come better prepared and do it in a better way than going with the older experience of that particular
Yeah,
player?
yeah. That's a point. He could have been. He could have matured enough. उसको सीखा होगा, उसको learn किया होगा. But it's
Okay.
too early for me to take Rayan Parag in the team. पहले राजस्थान को जिताए तो सही, उसके बाद देखते हैं ना. अभी तो बहुत
No,
दूर है.
he just given an example, but
Example
yes,
दिया
I
ना.
am also looking
वही कह
forward
रहा हूँ.
to seeing Rian
मैं भी
Parag
वही कह
perform in the
रहा हूँ.
IPL.
I don't have any. I love Indian cricket. I'm also a Rayan Parag fan, but he has to justify his talent against the big boys.
That
वो
time
अभी
will
तक नहीं
tell.
किया.
Yeah.
If he will
Okay,
do, he will surely be in the team.
absolutely. And moving on to the second and final question, as well as the final slide to you, Rohan. How do you pick the best 15 players on the squad based on the performance or fitness or both?
Bit of both actually, Preetham. Everybody can't be a Virat Kohli, right? Certain players are more skill-based players. Some are super fit kind of Superman guys. So हर एक player का अलग fitness level रहता है, right? Previously we used to have that yo-yo test. Somebody used to have an extraordinary score. Some was good enough to just
Yeah,
pass also, right? Previously, as Paji may remember in 2003s and all, Dada or those guys would be average kind of runners, but they were match fit. Whereas an
yeah.
Yuvraj Singh or Mohammad Kaif are extraordinary fitness levels, but doesn't mean the skill set is same, right? So you judge players bit differently at times based on their age. Also is a factor. Skill, form, the impact these guys do, and the history of injuries, all those things. It's a combination of a lot of things. So you judge players on various levels. उनका जो भी एक satisfactory mark है, if they're reaching that fitness levels and if they're in form and they're match winners for me, I'll always take the priority for those guys.
Okay, so you said a bit of both. Paji, for you, bit of both as well.
Uh, I will add to it. Fitness is more important. Fitness means match fit. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have to be a fittest player. You have to be match fit. Your form, and do you come into my balance? Do you make the balance in the squad? मेरा स्क्वाड में आपके आने से मेरा बैलेंस ही खराब होना चाहिए स्क्वाड का, तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. फॉर्म इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी. आई विल टेक अ रिस्क ऑफ वन प्लेयर जिसका शायद फॉर्म खराब ना हो, बट मुझे पता है वो अपने दिन पे मैच जिता सकता है. एंड आई विल टेक वन प्लेयर जिसका जिसका ऐसा फॉर्म है जिसको मैं अगर जिस पे मैं पंट करूं वो मुझे टूर्नामेंट जिता जाए. तो दो प्लेयर ऐसे रखूंगा और बाकी तो प्योरली ऑन परफॉर्मेंस, फॉर्म एंड फिटनेस एंड टीम कॉम्बिनेशन को देख के. मैं थोड़ा
okay.
डिफरेंट सोचता हूँ, डिफरेंट एंगल सोचता
No
हूँ.
problem with that. So everyone gave their own perspectives, but we have already secured the T20 series against Afghanistan. Third T20, Virat Kohli just played one game. Rohit played both the games, but yet to showcase with the bat. Are you expecting any experiments? First question to Rohan first.
Experiment, I won't say it is experiment. I would say giving a bench players also a bit of chance. Someone like a Kuldeep, we want him to be ready in case he's needing to bowl in the England series as a third spinner also. So for a Bishnoi who was bit hot and cold this season, maybe getting Kuldeep. Jitesh has been again second match mein itna khas nahi kiya. So Sanju is also an option there. Avesh, I was looking forward to if he could have played in indoor home ground Tauska. So maybe for a Mukesh he can come in. So make sure everybody is in a right space and ready in case
Yeah.
again injury ho jaye. Everybody is some kind of a match practice behind them before a big series there.
Okay. And Paji, for you?
आई विल डू कपल ऑफ थिंग्स. पहले तो मैं यहाँ पे पहले बैट फर्स्ट करना चाहूंगा टू
Yeah,
पुट माई
that's true.
बॉलर्स अंडर अंडर प्रेशर कि, और आई मे नॉट चेंज माई बॉलिंग लाइनअप, may not change my bowling because I would want to test Bishnoi, or I can agree with with Rohan. We can bring in Kuldeep. Let's see how he bowls in the dewy conditions, or how
Yeah.
he can help us in defending the. So Afghanistan plays spin quite well. They play spin well. They are not mug against the spinners. So would like to test Kuldeep if we are thinking taking Kuldeep to the World Cup. Other thing I would want to get a look in of संजू सैमसन. मैं संजू सैमसन को भी एक मैच देना चाहूंगा इस सीरीज में. तो सबने अगर खेला तो उसको भी एक मैच मिलना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल.
आई मे रेस्ट रिंकू और मे रेस्ट जितेश, बिकॉज रिंकू हमें
Jitesh.
पता लग गया रिंकू ने क्या किया है. वी नो व्हाट रिंकू इज ब्रिंगिंग टू द टेबल. ठीक है, रोहित रेस्ट लेगा नहीं, विराट कोहली भी रेस्ट लेगा नहीं. उसने भी 2 मैच के. आई वुड से कि मेक 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 कैप्टन विराट कोहली को एक मैच के लिए कैप्टन बना दो बैंगलोर में. बैंगलोर क्राउड भी खुश हो जाए. और रोहित शुड टेक अ ब्रेक समटाइम. यू टेक अ
पागल हो
टाइम.
जाएंगे यहाँ पे लोग.
तो रोहित अगर एक मैच में ब्रेक ले भी लेगा तो ही कैन सी फ्रॉम द आउटर साइड कि हाउ द टीम इज डूइंग वेल, बिकॉज दैट्स द ओनली वे
You
ही
never know,
कैन.
some surprise injury or sorry niggle may come through.
No, tomorrow there won't be
One
surprise.
cricket
But
and nigger.
I would want जो players apart from विराट कोहली, जो players टेस्ट खेल रहे हैं,
Yeah.
they should skip that match because unnecessary कोई इंजरी हो गई और टाइम बहुत कम है. So hardly we are 10 days away, और 17 को मैच होगा तो we will be only 1 week away from the first test. तो आइडली आई विल से कि रोहित, जायसवाल, इवन वी कैन थिंक ऑफ टेस्टिंग जायसवाल, बिकॉज या जायसवाल को खिला लो या गिल और जायसवाल से ओपनिंग करा दो. यू कैन ट्राई समथिंग डिफरेंट, और यू कैन ट्राई रोहित एंड विराट एज ओपनर एज वेल if you want to play both of them. So just like that. But Sanju should get a game. Avesh should get a game, and Kuldeep.
Kuldeep.
We would like to test our bowling, and we would want to bat first, and
Okay.
then
Fair enough.
defend the.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens day after tomorrow for the third T20. But that concludes the show for this one. Thank you so much, both of you. It was the first episode of the interesting topic, and you guys were superb. Thank you for participating in this one, and also to all the viewers who will look into this. Let us know your views as well in the comment section as well, and subscribe to the channel Fifth Umpire as well. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you, Pritam. Thank you, Rohan. It was always pleasure.